Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Advaita Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Adilila chapter 9 text number 21 Prabhu 30 text number 31 Prabhu Adilila chapter 9 text number 31 Adilila 9:31 मलाकारक है स्नो वृक्ष परिवार मूला शाखा वशाखा यतेक प्रकारा. Lord Chaitanya thus addressed the multifarious varieties of branches and sub-branches of the tree of devotional service.
பகவான் சைத்தன்யன் பக்தி தொண்டில் இந்த மரத்திலேயே பல வகைப்பட்ட கிளைகளையும் உபகிளைகளையும் பின்வருமாறு விவரித்தார்.
अलौकिक वृक्ष कोरे सर्वेन्द्रिय कर्म स्थावर होय धरे जंगमे धर्म. Since the tree of devotional service is transcendental, every one of its parts can perform the action of all the others. Although a tree is supposed to be immovable, this tree nevertheless moves. Prabhu, Hare Krishna. So, okay. Sure, okay. Sure, okay. Sure. Okay. Sure. Okay, thank you. Sorry. Purport. It is our experience in the material world that trees stand in one place. But in the spiritual world, a tree can go from one place to another. Therefore, everything in the spiritual world is called alaukika, uncommon or transcendental. Another feature of such a tree is that it can act universally. In the material world, the roots of the tree go deep within the earth to gather food. But in the spiritual world, the twigs, branches and leaves of the upper portion of tree can act like the roots.
மரங்கள் ஒரே இடத்தில் நிற்பதையே நாம் கடவுளில் நமது அனுபவத்தில் காண்கிறோம். ஆனால் ஆன்மீக உலகிலோ ஒரு மரமானது ஒரு இடத்திலிருந்து மற்றொரு இடத்திற்கு செல்லக்கூடும். எனவே ஆன்மீக உலகில் உள்ள அனைத்தும் அலௌகிக, அசாதாரணமானது அல்லது தெய்வீகமானது என்று கூறப்படுகிறது. அத்தகைய மரத்தின் மற்றொரு அம்சம் யாதெனில் அதன் எந்த பகுதியில் எவ்வாறு வேண்டுமானாலும் செயல்பட முடியும். ஜடவுலகில் மரத்தின் வேர்கள் பூமியினுள் ஆழமாக சென்று வைத்திருக்கின்றன. ஆனால் ஆன்மீக உலகிலோ உபகிளைகள், இலைகள் மரத்தின் மேல் பகுதியில் உள்ள இலைகளும் கூட வேர்களை போன்று செயல்பட முடியும்.
एवक्षेरा अंकहय सबा सचेतना बाड़िया व्यापिला सबे सकला भुवना. All the parts of this tree are spiritually cognizant, and thus as they grow they spread all over the world.
இந்த மரத்தின் எல்லா பகுதிகளும் ஆன்மீக உணர்வுடையவை என்பதால் அவை வளரும் போது உலகம் முழுவதும் பரவுகின்றன.
एकला माला करामी कहान जाबा एकला बा कतो भला Padiya Vilaba. I am the only gardener. How many places can I go? How many fruits can I pick and distribute?
நான் மட்டுமே தோட்டக்காரனாக உள்ளேன். எத்தனை இடங்களுக்கு நான் செல்ல இயலும்? எத்தனை பழங்களை நான் மட்டுமே பறித்து விநியோகிக்க முடியும்?
Here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu indicates that the distribution of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra should be performed by combined forces. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he laments, how can I act alone? How can I alone pick the fruit and distribute it all over the world? This indicates that all classes of devotees should combine to distribute the Hare Krishna Mahamantra without consideration of the time, place and situation.
ஹரே கிருஷ்ண மகாமந்திர விநியோகமானது ஒருங்கிணைந்த சக்தியினால் செயல்பட வேண்டும் என்பதை இங்கே ஸ்ரீ சைத்தன்ய மகாபிரபு சுட்டிக்காட்டுகிறார். அவர் பரமபுருஷ பகவான் என்னும் போதிலும் நான் எவ்வாறு தனியாக செயல்பட இயலும், நான் எவ்வாறு தனியாக பழங்களை பறித்து உலகத்தில் விநியோகிக்க முடியும் என்று அவர் புலம்புகிறார். எல்லா தரப்பட்ட பக்தர்களும் ஒன்றாக இணைந்து நேரம், இடம் அல்லது சூழ்நிலையை கருதாமல் ஹரே கிருஷ்ண மகாமந்திரத்தினை விநியோகிக்க வேண்டும் என்பதை இது சுட்டிக்காட்டுகிறது.
Jai Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam Mudiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavada Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Slokir Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki. From Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26. Canto 3, Chapter 26, text number 33 படிச்சாச்சு நான் 14. Canto 3, Chapter 26, text number 34. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavada Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26, text number 34. Bhutanam Chidra Datritvam Bahir Antaram Evacha Pranendriyatma Dhishnyatvam Nabhaso Vritti Lakshanam Bhudanam Chidradhatritvam Bhudanam Chidradhatritvam Bahirantaramevacha Bahirantaramevacha Pranendriyatma Dhishyatvam Pranendriyatma Dhishyatvam Nabhaso Vritti Lakshanam Nabhaso Vritti Lakshanam Bhudanam Chitradadritvam बहिरन्तरमेव च
बहिरन्तरमेव च
प्राणेन्द्रियात्मधिष्ण्यत्वं
प्राणेन्द्रियात्मधिष्ण्यत्वं
नभसो वृत्तिलक्षणम्
नभसो वृत्तिलक्षणं
भूतानां छिद्रदादृत्वं
भूतानां छिद्रदातृत्वं
बहिरन्तरमेव च
बहिरन्तरमेव च
प्राणेन्द्रियात्मधिष्ण्यत्वं
प्राणेन्द्रियात्मधिष्ण्यत्वं
नभसो वृत्तिलक्षणम्
नभसो वृत्तिलक्षणं
Can read now. भूतानां छिद्रदातृत्वं बहिरन्तरमेव च प्राणेन्द्रियात्मधिष्ण्यत्वं नमस्तो वृत्तिलक्षणम् भूतानां छिद्रदातृत्वं बहिरन्तरमेव च प्राणेन्द्रियात्मधिष्ण्यत्वं नभसो वृत्तिलक्षणम् भूतानां छिद्रदातृत्वं बहिरन्तरमेव च प्राणेन्द्रियात्मधिष्ण्यत्वं नभसो वृत्तिलक्षणम्
भूतानां छिद्रदातृत्वं
भूतानां छिद्रदातृत्वं
बहिरन्तरमेव च
प्राणेन्द्रियात्मधिष्ण्यत्वं
नभसो वृत्तिलक्षणं
भूतानां छिद्रदातृत्वं
बहिरन्तरमेव च प्राणेन्द्रियात्मधिष्ण्यत्वं नभसो वृत्तिलक्षणं
भूतानां of all living entities छिद्रदातृत्वं the accommodation of room bahi external antaram internal eva also cha and prana of the vital air indriya the senses atma and the mind dhishniyatvam being the field of activities nabasaha of the ethereal element vritti activities lakshanam characteristics. Translation purport by Srimad Bhagavatam ki. The activities and characteristics of the ethereal element can be observed as accommodation for the room for external and internal existences of all living entities, namely the field of activities of the vital air, the senses and the mind. Yes, ma'am.
மனம் புலன்கள் மற்றும் உயர்நிலை ஆற்றல் அல்லது உயிரினம் ஆகியவை புறங்களுக்கு புறப்படாவிட்டால் அவற்றிற்கு வடிவங்கள் உள்ளன. வடிவம் வானின் நுட்பமான இருப்பில் உள்ளது. உட்புறத்தில் அது உடலினுள் இரத்த நாளமாக உயிர்நிலையான காற்றின் புகழ்ச்சியாக உற்று நோக்கப்படுகிறது. வெளிப்புறத்தில் கண்ணுக்கு புலனாகாத வடிவங்கள் உள்ளன. கண்ணுக்கு புலனாகாத பொறிகளின் உற்பத்தி விண்வெளி பொருட்களின் வெளிப்புற செயல்பாடாகும். உயர்நிலையான காற்று மற்றும் குருதியின் புரட்சி அல்லது உட்புற செயல்பாடாகும். வானில் இருக்கும் அந்த நுட்பமான வடிவங்கள் தற்கால விஞ்ஞானத்தால் தொலைக்காட்சி ஒளிபரப்பு மூலம் விண்வெளி பொருட்களின் செயலால் ஒரு இடத்தின் வடிவங்கள் அல்லது புகைப்படங்கள் வேறொரு இடத்திற்கு அனுப்பப்படுவதாக நிரூபிக்கப்பட்டுள்ளன. அது இங்கு அழகாக விளக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. இந்த படம் சிறந்த அறிவியல் ஆராய்ச்சிகளின் உள்ளார்ந்த ஆற்றலின் அடிப்படையாகும். ஏனென்றால் அது விண்வெளி பொருட்களில் இருந்து இந்த நுட்பமான என்பதையும் அதன் குணநலன்கள் செயல்கள் என்ன என்பதையும் நாம் உணரத்தக்க மூலப்பொருளான காற்று காற்று, தீ, நீர் மற்றும் பூமி ஆகியவை எவ்வாறு சுத்தமான வடிவத்திலிருந்து வெளிப்படுகின்றன என்பதையும் விளக்குகிறது. நினைத்தல், உணர்தல் மற்றும் விரும்புதலின் மனநிலை தேர்தல் அல்லது உளவியல் சார்ந்த செயல்களும் விண்வெளி பொருள்களின் அடிப்படையில் அமைந்துள்ளன. மரணத்தின் போது உள்ள மனநிலையே அடுத்த பிறப்பின் அடிப்படையாகும் எனும் கீதையின் கருத்து இந்த பதத்தில் வலியுறுத்தப்பட்டுள்ளது. நுட்பமான வடிவத்திலிருந்து முழு மூலப்பொருட்களின் வளர்ச்சி அல்லது மாசுபடும் வாய்ப்பு ஏற்பட்டவுடன் மனநிலையானது தொட்டு உணரத்தக்க வடிவமான மாற்றம் பெறுகிறது. ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா.
Super. The mind, the senses and the vital force or living entity have forms, although they are not visible to the naked eye. Form rests in the subtle existence in the sky, and internally it is perceived as the veins within the body and the circulation of white layer. Externally there are invisible forms of sense objects. The production of the invisible sense objects in the external activity of the ethereal element and the circulation of the white layer and the blood is its internal activity. The production of the invisible sense objects is the external activity of the ethereal element and the circulation of white layer and blood is its internal activity. That subtle forms exist in the ether has been proven by modern science by transmission of television by which forms or photographs of the place are transmitted to another place by the action of the ethereal element. That is very nicely explained here. This verse is the potential basis of great scientific research work, for it explains how subtle forms are generated from the ethereal element, what their characteristics and actions are, and how the tangible elements, namely air, fire, water and earth, are manifested from the subtle form. The mental activities or psychological actions of thinking, feeling and willing are also activities on the platform of ethereal existence. The statement in Bhagavad Gita that the mental situation at the time of death is the basis of the next birth is also corroborated in this verse. Mental existence transforms into tangible form as soon as there is an opportunity due to contamination or development of gross elements from the subtle form. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimidantasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukhaṁ karoti vācālam pankum lankayate girim yatkrupatamaham vande Shri Guru Dīnatarinam Paramanandamādhavam Shri Chaitanyamīśwaram. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yodha Pravishya Mamavajamimam Prasuttam Sanjeevayatya Shakti-dhara Swadhamnam Anyam Sahasacharana Shravanatvagadin Pranam Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. Bhudanam Chitrajadritvam Bahirandaramevacha Pranendriyatmadhishnitvam Nabhasa Vrittilakshanam. Prabhupada says this can become the basis of a scientific research work. How from subtle gross manifests. How the gross is only an instrument and the subtle effects, they are the causes. Bodily actions are effects, but the cause is subtle action. Just like when we desire to go to the temple, the body comes to the temple. When we desire to sleep, the body goes to sleep. So the whole thing moves as per the desire of the living entity. And that desire comes from where? Desire, whether it is coming from mind or intelligence or soul, the desire always doesn't come from the soul. Because the desire manifests in the mind, that becomes a natural, naturally that becomes a sequence of activity. Things are what the mind wants, what the soul wants, the mind already know, because mind has taken charge of the soul. Soul is supposed to take the charge of mind, but mind has taken the charge of soul. Mind knows what we want. Mind will suggest, let us sleep, let us do this, let us go to the temple, let us chant Hare Krishna. And how do the mind select that? Because it selects according to what is our frequent activity. Our frequent activity is chanting, reading Prabhupada's books, performing devotional service. Mind always suggests accordingly. It's like Prabhupada was saying yesterday. When you search for something in the mobile, they suggest. Mobile knows what you are thinking. Past searches he knows accordingly. So the sequence the mobile knows. What is the sequence of our search? Similarly, what is the sequence of our desire? The mind knows. Mind suggests. We are blaming mind for everything. No. Mind is supporting the soul. We don't know. That is why mind is called Atma also. We are thinking I am mind. Instead of thinking I am Atma, I am thinking I am mind. So mind is also called Atma. Body is also called Atma. Because when I think I am this body, body is also known as Atma. So only the Atma becomes no Atma. Everything else becomes Atma. Body Atma, mind Atma, intelligence Atma. Only the Atma is witnessing without knowing what to do. That's why there's a famous picture of how the soul is riding a chariot. 5 horses or 5 senses. In 5 directions it is running. And who is controlling? Mind is controlling the reins. And who is the person who is sitting and using the mind? Intelligence. And the real ego. The real ego becomes false ego. The traveler. Oh, it is going like this. How? When a bus goes without brake, what will happen to us? We panic. So the Atma is panicking. That is why this world is not Vaikuntha. Anxiety. Whole world is in anxiety because of this problem. Where we are heading to, we don't know. What will happen to us, we don't know. So because of this anxiety, we are landing up doing so many different activities that are not belonging to the soul. Which belongs to the body, it belongs to the mind. We try to satisfy the senses, try to satisfy the mind, try to satisfy the intelligence, try to satisfy the ego, most dangerous. And then finally, the Atma doesn't get satisfied. Tripti doesn't come. Atma Tripti doesn't come. So, because it is a subtle, it's very subtle actually, how we are acting. We ourselves don't know. The whole world does not know how the world is acting. We are under the influence of material energy. 3 modes of over above. There are so many players in this world. There is material mind, desire, this, that, thousands of things, and above that, 3 modes of material nature. When the desire comes to play, that particular nature, goodness, passion, ignorance, that particular nature will come and influence us. Everything helps us to enjoy the senses, to go against the order of Krishna, to go against the order of Guru. The whole world is supporting us. Similarly, the whole world will support us to go back to Krishna. If only we desire for, only thing is we need to continuously desire for Krishna. Then the mind will suggest only Krishna. Let us go to the temple. Let me read Bhagavad Gita. There is some free time. What do we do? If our frequency is in sleeping, the mind will say, okay, let us go and sleep. There's some free time. Let me read Bhagavad Gita. Let me do my service. Let me do this service. Let me do something extra for Krishna. So that extra thing, mind will suggest. Let us do this, that. So the subtle, we are not living in this body actually. The body, the place where we live, physical place we live is very small. Just like our body can go to only limited places. The field of activity of the body is very limited. But field of activity of the mind is very vast. Field of activity of the intelligence is even more vaster. Because mind will act only within this world. Intelligence can explore other things, other worlds, other experiences. And the field of activity of the ego is unlimited. And field of activity of the soul is not this material world at all. It is spiritual world. And we are getting caught in this limited world. So we are having so much anxiety. I have seen one person. His name is Abhayadananda Swami. Of course, he is like a Mayavadi, even though he says he follows Lord Chaitanya, but it's like a Maya. And he wears only cowpin, doesn't wear anything else. So he goes around. That cowpin also is wearing because the public is thinks something else. So he otherwise that also he doesn't require. He comes to the place. My father invited him to our house. He came to the place. And whatever we were discussing earlier, he already knows whatever we discussed. They were reading Bhagavatam. As soon as they came, he comes by walk only. He doesn't come by car, auto rickshaw. He comes by walk. Because he is doing Padayatra everywhere. He doesn't get into bus often. He doesn't get into trains. Unless he wants to go to Haridwar, Vrindavan, somewhere, he will go into train. Otherwise, normal some 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, he will walk off. He will not touch money in the hand. No money in the hand. Very peculiar person. So much of tejas, the face is glowing like anything. Always happy, smiling face. It's not troubled by any inconvenience. Heat, cold, rain, nothing. He just walks. It's a wonderful personality. And he speaks Bengali, he speaks many languages because he goes by walk. Many languages he speaks. I heard about Lord Chaitanya, I heard about Bhaktivinoda Thakur from him first. He sings Bhajahure Mana very nicely. So that person, when he came to my house, they were reading Bhagavatam. Saptaham was going on, 7 days. As soon as he came, everybody left the whole thing and went to receive him. He washed his feet, received him, sat down. Then the book was closed. Because in a hurry, they closed the book, they forgot to keep the mark. So he comes, opens the book. Where we stopped, next line onwards he started reading. So I came to know, I was surprised. He will know, because whatever he speaks is there in the ether. For some time it will remain in the ether, in the atmosphere. He is able to catch that. Whatever the feelings are, he is able to catch. If a person comes in front of him, what mess he is in, he immediately understands. And he advises accordingly, or if it is beyond his advice, Hare Krishna, he will say and he will go. So he knows who is who, what is what. You don't have to speak to him. You just go and sit, think about what you want to talk to him. He will give you the answer. You don't have to speak out. In 1983, he passed away actually. A big loss for the world actually. He is such a, but he is totally, he will not show off. There is an ashram, Abhedananda ashram in Trivandrum. There is no money. Ashram people, management said there is no money. How to do tomorrow's prasadam? We don't know. He just takes a big plate, sits in front of the temple, just chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He chants Hare Krishna first, and he instituted this Akhanda Nama Sankirtan, 24-hour Kirtan. It is going on for last 60 years. So whoever comes, some beggars will come, say go, take bath, put fresh cloth, he will give also fresh cloth, take the tamburu and go around the lamp, chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Follow the record and chant Hare Krishna. Then you will get food to eat. Many people come. Akhanda only. If you say you will give free food, lot of people come and do that. So he will sit in front of the plate. By evening, he will get sufficient money for tomorrow's food. He will not ask anybody money. He will keep that plate. He will sit in the chair, chant Hare Krishna. Money will come. Maintain the temple. He does enjoy, go and ask, such powerful. He never speaks. Unless for Krishna's name or, Bhagavatam, he will never speak at all. No other, if you say anything, he will smile. Not say anything. So we are actually, by speaking nonsense, we are wasting our potency. By thinking nonsense, we are wasting our potency. That's why there is power for thinking. What you speak, what you think, what you eat, everything is very powerful. Powerful in draining your energy. So let us train ourselves to speak only Krishna Katha. Let us speak only about Krishna. Let us use our power only for Krishna's pleasure. Then there will be unlimited power. That's the secret of Prabhupada also. When we speak, we don't know. People won't get affected. But they speak the same thing, get affected. Yesterday, day for yesterday, Maharaj was quoting one sloka and telling the meaning. That had a different level of understanding. Because he speaks, austerity works actually. So he must do austerity. Austerity of speech is talking only about Krishna. Austerity of mouth is, tongue is to take only Krishna Prasadam. Austerity of the intelligence is to remember only Krishna. This way, we perform all the activities in line with Krishna consciousness. Then the power increases. Then only we can preach actually. Jai Jai Jagannath, Baladev Subhadramai ki, Shri Gurutai ki Jai. That is why it is very important to live in Vrindavan, in holy place, in the temple. Because mostly what will be going on is only Krishna Katha. So in that ethereal existence, when we go there, that affects our thoughts. Should not go to places like, hotels and bars and this and that, enjoyment places. There, what is there? In the ethereal air, in the ether, what is there? Enjoyment tendency. When we go there, we get affected there. We go to some place, stay in a large room. We get affected by the people's thoughts, people who lived there earlier, their thoughts, their action, all that is there in the ethereal. It immediately catches. The mind will suggest. The mind knows. We don't know actually. The mind knows. Because mind's existence is also an ethereal platform. The mind knows what is there. The moment you open the room, we see empty place. Nobody is there. But the mind is thinking, wow, so many varieties of thoughts, so many varieties of enjoyment. And that immediately mind catches and we get polluted. And believe me, the purity we get out of staying for 1 year in a temple can be finished in 5 minutes when you go into such places. That is called contamination. Physical contamination is not taking bath, not brushing teeth. That is physical contamination. Not doing properly, not cleaning the place you eat, not cleaning the clothes every day. That's all physical contamination. Mental contamination is absorbing in thoughts of sense gratification. That's a contamination. That's why Mahaprabhu said, Cheto Darpana Marjana. You clean that mind by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Bhava Maha Davagni Nirvapanam. That can extinguish the fire of material existence simply by chanting Hare Krishna. Shayak Kairava Chandrika Vedrana. You can actually spread auspicious moonlight. Vidyavadhu Jivanam. That will become the life. Vidyavadhu. Vidya is Lakshmi. Vidya is Vadhu. Vadhu means the wife of the holy name. Vidyavadhu Jivanam. So we become addicted to the holy name when we chant continuously. Prabhupada is saying, Bhagavad Gita says, at the time of death, what you think, you become that. That philosophy is supported by this sloka. Because the mind, the subtle body is the vehicle with which we are traveling. If you set the vehicle towards hell, it will go to hell. If you set the vehicle towards Vaikuntha, it will go to Vaikuntha. Whether to go to Vaikuntha or go to hell, take another body of human being or cat or dog, it's all up to us. We are the driver. Krishna is only supporting. We have to drive the vehicle of subtle body towards Vaikuntha, towards Krishna. That's a remembrance of Krishna. If you keep on doing the same thing, chanting the holy name, remembering Krishna, reading, talking about Krishna, then it will only go towards that direction. Very safe. At the time of death also, it will go to that direction only. It will not even think of reversing. Otherwise, now we are in the junction. We can take left or right or straight or anywhere we can go. If we take a wrong choice, we land up in wrong place. We suffer again. Another body, another situation, another birth, death, old age, disease situation. So it is very simple. Let us keep our subtle body clear. With ego, how do we clean the ego? By serving Krishna. To recognize ourselves as servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. That's what we do for puja time. We chant that mantra. Mahaprabhu said you should chant that mantra before doing puja. He told Hridayananda Prabhu. Hridayananda Prabhu is a person who worshipped the deity of Gaur Gadadhar. And he wanted to know more about, and then Mahaprabhu said, you fix your coordinate as servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. It's a nice sloka. Na aham vipro, na cha narabatir, na abhivaishyo, na shodra. Na means no. Na aham, na, myself. Na aham, I am not vipra, brahmana. Na cha narabatir, narapati is Raja, king. I am not a kshatriya. Na api Vaishya, I am not Vaishya. Not Vaishya also. Api means also. Na api Vaishya, I am not Vaishya also. I am not Shudra also. Na Shudra. Na aham varni na jagrahabad. Na I am not Grihastha, I am not Brahmachari, I am not Sannyasi, I am not Vanaprastha, I am nothing. Then who am I? Gopi Bhaktra Pataka Malayo Dasa Dasa Anudasa. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the master of gopis, the husband of gopis. Gopi Bhaktra Pataka Malayo Dasa Dasa Anudasa. Not only doing puja. For a devotee, every activity is a puja. Sleeping is a puja. Dressing is a puja. Taking bath is puja. Okay, taking prasadam is puja. Going for preaching is puja. Everything is puja. Because everything is to do. Puja means what? To glorify. Glorify the Lord. With all that we are glorifying the Lord. So, before the puja starts, means before we start doing anything, we should remember, fix our coordinate. I am not any of these things which the world is telling me. Oh, you are a brahmachari. The moment you see your appearance, oh, you are a brahmachari, saffron color. Oh, you are a grihastha. Then you are a vanaprastha, then you are a sannyasi. By seeing each one, we know what they are. That is external. Internally, a grihastha may be a brahmachari may be a grihastha, a sannyasi may be a grihastha may be a sannyasi. Internally we don't know, but because there is confusion always. Therefore, Shastra says, you are none of this. You are simply servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. So this way we can escape. That's the only way we can escape from this material world. Material world is contaminated physically, subtly, everywhere. Just mentioned this world is like an ocean. In ocean, what is there? There is water. Ocean is full of water, right? Similarly, the material world is full of, the water in the material world is three gunas. Sattva-guna, Rajo-guna, Tamo-guna. It is filled. 1 inch inside the ocean can be without water. Cannot be dry, right? So, similarly, even though we are sitting in the ship of Krishna consciousness, ISKCON, under Prabhupada's shelter, but still all around there is danger of water, three gunas. Sometimes that splashes. Sometimes the ship wrecks. In ISKCON, so many problems. Oh my God, what to do? Prabhupada said, you hold on to some pillar, some devotee within ISKCON. You hold on to it. Don't jump off, because that is full of problem. Within ISKCON there is some problem of wrecking, but being afraid if you jump off the ship, it is more problem. There are sharks. You cannot survive in the ocean. At least you can survive Krishna conscious way inside the ship. Even if there is problem, don't leave ISKCON. That's what Prabhupada said. Stick on to somebody very strong, so you will not get thrown off. If you don't stick on, you will just try all the circus, you will get thrown off. You have to depend on, it's called, we call them, Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru, all that. We call them a Vaishnava. Hold on to a Vaishnava who is strong. If he is also doing circus, then you will get thrown away along with that person. We cannot afford to do circus. We have to hold on to some place. Somebody's feet, somebody's advice, somebody's association. So in subtle platform, we can understand now the subtle platform. We are existing physically like this. Subtly we are existing within the whole ship of ISKCON. And within that, there are so many pillars. Hold on to one of the pillars, or one or two of the pillars, hold on to. Become more strong. And then whatever the ship will never go upside down, because it is guided by Prabhupada, guided by great Acharyas, Parampara, old Acharya Vrinda is there. But the situation can threaten us when we are not depending on Krishna. So it will never go upside down. That we must be sure. So what we should do is we should hold on to it. Even if the ship goes like this, Brahmaji, imagine what he had problem. He was sitting on the lotus. It's mentioned the lotus, so down there, big ocean, Garbhodaya ocean. So much wind will come. The lotus will go almost touch the water. How much Brahma was depending on the Lord's instructions. So he did not get thrown off. So little bit of material attraction, that will cause fear. Material attraction causes fear. You know that? Fear comes out of material attraction. Your wants of sense gratification. That is what is creating fear. Otherwise, Abhaya Charana Aravindare. No, real devotee of Krishna is never afraid of anybody or anything. Because he knows Krishna is the master. I am his servant. Nothing can shake me. He knows, he is not afraid. So there is no question of leaving Krishna's lotus feet. Holding. So the moment we have separate interest, Bhayam Dudiya Abhinivesha Yatsya, Bhagavatam says. Dudiya Abhinivesha. Abhinivesha means attraction. Attraction for Dudiya, something second, something other than Krishna. When we develop attraction, then we get fear. So never be afraid when we are with Krishna. The moment we lack in our Krishna consciousness, there is every reason to be afraid. So this is the basic thing. Our existence is more subtle than gross. People don't know. We are thinking it's more gross than subtle. That's Maya. That's the essence of what we read today. Any questions or comments? Any comments or questions? Jagannath Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Sri Chandra ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanande.